Recording. There we are. Okay, we are live now on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is For the Love of Real Estate. I'm Susan Johnson and Associates with eXp Realty, and I've got a wonderful guest today. This is Wellington Pendell from the Career Compass. Wellington, I'm excited to have you today. We go back many, many years, as you know, and I've renewed my license through the Career Compass at least 3 times. Today, we've got a great topic on iBuyers, but I also want to get into a lot about the Career Compass because I think it's important for all agents and brokers to know about you if they don't already. You're pretty infamous, by the way, to say the least.
So to say the least.
Yeah, this is Wellington Pendell, although I got to tell you, most everybody knows you as Beef. So welcome here, Beef, for the love of real estate. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and a little bit about how we can go ahead and do the iBuyers.
Well, for those who don't know the Career Compass, I'm Wellington Pendell, and again, everybody, you may or may not have heard of me. I'm Beef. Wellington is my stage name, if you want to call it that, and I am from the Career Compass. And yes, it is very infamous because we are probably as of 2016, the Career Compass is the biggest seminar in the state of California for realtors. And by the way, that's not to take anything away from any of the other seminars out there. You know, Brian Buffini is a great guy, and Tom Ferry's a great guy, and you know, Mike Ferry's a guy, and there's a lot of other great guys out there. So there's a lot of great training, but as of this point, Career Compass is the largest. We do a seminar every single month, a 2.5-day seminar for 400 to 500 agents in 5-star locations, and you get just the greatest training. I mean, we have stuff that none of the other seminars have. Susan is a testament to that. She's been to it many times, and on top of that, through our program, through our independent provider, you actually get your license renewed as a member benefit of the Career Compass. And we have lifetime memberships. You pay for them once, you never pay for them again. You get to come back to it anytime you want for free for life. And we do like 10 seminars a year. Of course, prior to the COVID thing happening, we have 10 seminars a year, and we're hoping to get those started back up here in July or August.
We'll get them back up, that's for sure.
Yeah, we need them back up. We really do. I mean, we get calls all day long here in the office, people saying, when are you going to start the seminar up? We actually did a little test on our 3 p.m. daily Facebook Live thing where we asked people, are you afraid to come to the seminar, or would you stay home because of COVID, or do you want to come and network and have a great time? 95% of the people said, oh, we're ready to come back to the seminar. Let's drink, let's party, let's have a great time.
Yeah, so, you know, I don't doubt that at all. And I got to say, I think we'll do more on the Career Compass towards the end as well. But I do want to say this, you know, when I first went there years back, I posted something on Facebook. I said, hey, I'm spending the weekend at Pachanga. Yay, not. I have to sit in a seminar 2.5 days renewing my real estate license. I had no idea what I was going into. And not only is it jam-packed with massive, massive value, you are incredible. I mean, I know you're not even a formally trained speaker. You're an entertainer, but you would never know it. You'd think you'd been trained for years upon years, but what your knowledge is, though, obviously is very trained, because I left there with so much value helping my business, and getting my license renewed at the same time. It was crazy. And it was funny how many times throughout the weekend I kept posting again. I'm like, hey, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And you got to check this out. And I mean, it was really exciting. So thank you for that. It did change my world of renewing my license, and also just educating and business growth, which, you know, I've been 20 years in the business, and, you just know, don't stop learning. There's always something new, something new to learn, so again, love it. So today, one of the new things, well, it's not even new anymore, but some people don't maybe not have studied it, or, really don't know a whole lot. We hear about the iBuyer, but I don't think there's a lot of information to the general public, to our sellers, to buyers out there that may be selling a home, and also to the agents to really understand the whole iBuyer. Can you dive deep with us here and give us some information on that, so we can have people make some good decisions and not be hurting their nest eggs of their homes?
Yeah, the iBuyers, the Career Compass has been teaching, basically how to beat the iBuyers for almost 3 years now. When they first were announced they were going to be hitting California, and as of January 2019, the iBuyers did get here. Now, we've been teaching a class that has been evolving all this time on how to beat the iBuyers, all the way back since the middle of 2017, when it was originally announced that these folks are going to be coming to California. And for those of you who don't know what an iBuyer is, and I can share my screen here in a minute and kind of explain what's going on when we get into the formal part of this, but an iBuyer in a nutshell is a company that has eliminated entirely the need for realtors, for CAR, for NAR, for the MLS, for everything. They completely skip our entire model. So in other words, an iBuyer, if I'm an iBuyer, so let's say I'm Zillow Offers, or I'm Opendoor, or I'm Redfin Now, or any of these companies, basically what I do is I buy a house from a seller, and there's no MLS listing for it. That doesn't mean there never is one, but initially they buy it. Okay? There's no MLS listing on that. There's no buyer's agent, there's no listing agent, there's no CAR, there's no NAR, there's nothing. So I take possession and I buy the house. Then I go and I sell the house to a buyer in the same exact way without the MLS if I don't need it. Sometimes I use it, but sometimes I don't. Their model is set up so they don't have to use the MLS. They don't want to. Why pay that extra 2.5%? So they sell it right to the buyer with no MLS, no listing agent, no buying agent, no CAR, no NAR, no nothing. So in other words, it basically transacts from one person to the next with actually two transactions, which they profit on both sides, and it eliminates the realtor model entirely.
So I got to ask you, because I've seen some of this, but for our people that are watching may not know. What's interestingly, it sounds like a regular investor, something like an investor might just do like a flip, but they're not looking for flips, right?
Okay, they're not looking for flips in the traditional sense, and the difference between an iBuyer and an investor or something like that is, one, these companies are doing this on a massive scale. Number two, okay, flippers or traditional local investors, and I used to be this when I used to own a company called Midwest Land Acquisitions. I used to do this, and I use realtors for that model. So in other words, I would use realtors. In fact, we teach many of the tools at Career Compass on how to find investors, how to use investors. We just did the deal a week technique last week, which is one of our famous, most popular techniques. And it literally is how to find investors and get investors to use you every single time. And it's in some cases do 2, 3, and even 4 sides in the same flip. 4 sides as a realtor. It's crazy good. But here's my point: is regular investors actually support the realtor model and use realtors, but yeah, they're flipping, but they still go through the entire realtor model and actually benefit from the realtor model. iBuyers don't do that at all. Not only are they doing it on a massive scale all over the entire country, but they don't use. They're set up to eliminate the realtor model entirely.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I really wanted to differentiate the two, because I can tell you there's a lot of investors between San Diego, LA, and Inland Empire that I have just, that I call, because if I have a distressed property or something like that, or somebody that absolutely has to sell, and they maybe, they really need to get it sold through an investor for whatever their reason is, which there are several, I will call them and they'll reach out to me. Do I have any properties coming up? That kind of thing. So as realtors, we get that. My concern, since they're not always the iBuyers may, and I don't want to say anything wrong here, but could potentially take advantage of a seller if they don't have their information. If they don't understand what their home is really worth, and they just think, oh gosh, I'll just get it sold fast and I won't have to pay fees, but they don't understand that these iBuyers are paying well under what the actual market value is. Would that be a right statement, or is that something you?
Oh, that's not just correct. It's not even stating as much as it really is. So not only are they taking advantage of the seller, because what they're basically selling, okay, is they're selling convenience. Oh, sell it to Opendoor, sell it to Zillow, sell it to Redfin, and you won't have, and they use this word, and I'll show it to you a little later, you won't have to have the hassle of a traditional listing. Let me translate that. You won't have to use a realtor, which is a hassle, which is basically they're telling the world that we are a hassle and not worth what we're being paid. And let me explain this. In some cases, we need to improve who we are and improve this industry. And that's exactly what the Career Compass is about, is teaching realtors to bring more value to this industry, because it's amazing. And I have this graphic that I show at the seminar. And the question that I ask is, everybody, let me ask you a quick question. Did Netflix, who everybody knows, especially now, because that's all we've been doing for 2 months, did Netflix kill Blockbuster? And everybody goes, yeah, they did. No, the answer is no to that. Here's why. Netflix did not kill Blockbuster. Blockbuster killed Blockbuster, because what happened was Blockbuster failed to design a model and grow and learn and create new value, and Netflix did. So basically what Netflix did is they just created a model that the consumer liked better. Aha, that's exactly what's happening in real estate, because we've been doing real estate exactly the same for the last 60 years. Well, guess what? That model is obsolete. We must bring more value than we've ever brought. And I ask realtors this, and I really hit them, can you, if you're doing a listing presentation So let's say that Susan, you and I are doing a listing presentation. You're the realtor, and I'm the seller, and I'm selling my house. If I said to you, "Gee whiz, great, awesome realtor who's been in real estate for 20 years that has done hundreds of transactions," what is the difference? Because I've been hearing so much stuff on social media. What's the difference between a discounter and an iBuyer? Now, 90% of all realtors cannot answer that question. As of right now, here's what they say: "Oh, they're the same thing, and they couldn't be more different." Or they say, "Oh, well, they're cheaper, but I'm better." And by the way, that's not true. They're not cheaper. You are better, but they're not cheaper. You just gave away half your value right there. And the third question, or the second question I ask is, what is the difference? Can you show me the difference, okay, between all the iBuying companies, all the discounting companies, and how they compare to each other, which is what we have called our crush sheets. Okay? And you've got those, okay? And yeah. It allows you to show a seller exactly how these companies work, how they're different, and how they don't bring the value that you bring. And the third question is, can you, as a realtor, can you numerically, not, "Oh, gee whiz, I work really hard for my commission, and I knew your father," and all this stuff that nobody cares about. Okay? Can you numerically, on a piece of paper or the spreadsheets that you have, okay, all Career Compass members have, that does all the work for you, can you show me numerically how you put more money in my pocket, more value? You can actually put more money in my pocket using advanced tools, techniques, and systems than an iBuyer, even including your commission, than an iBuyer, even though an iBuyer is doing it for free. Can you do that? If you can, you are going to crush real estate in the future. If you can't, you are a blockbuster and you are going to be gone.
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up, because honestly, it really is about too, what is the seller's bottom line? And they need to understand that. You know, this, again, going back to a scenario that of a client that I had selling her home through an iBuyer that was from out of the area and then coming out here. It was astonishing, you know, the price they offered her on her house, plus the fees that they weren't even telling her up front, you know. And when I saw her net sheet, she was already in escrow with them. I was just, you know, it was bothersome to me, because I'm like, that's insane. She had no idea she could, you know, sell her house for thousands more, you know, upwards of $30,000 that she was losing by selling at that price when she didn't need to. But she thought it was fast, convenient, and, you know what I mean, all the other thing, and thought, well, I'm not paying broker commission while you're getting, you know, 30 grand under what the price would be on the house. Plus they put their fees on top of that. Your net bottom line is what you really need to look at. And so when we started showing those kind of things, you need to be able to look at the numbers and be prepared to share those, because it's, you know, whether they even list their home with you, this is about educating the seller, making good decisions, because this is their investment. It's their nest egg. And I think it's our responsibility to make sure too, as professional realtors, that we sit down and we show them their options and show them why that's going to make a difference for their investment and their bottom line, you know, because it's heartbreaking to think somebody is going to lose all sorts of money. One thing too is, I found it interesting, is we're selling a lot of new builds right now. New construction is, in my area, is very hot. They're offering all sorts of incentives. So we work with our clients and we'll take them to some new builds. And it's interesting to me that the new construction, not all of them, but a lot of them, if a buyer walks in, they tell them to go to Opendoor. They have Opendoor's information. And I was astonished.
Well, you know why that is?
Astonished when I saw that.
You know why that is? Because for example, Opendoor, in that one specific example, okay, Opendoor is actually funded by one of the, I don't know if I can mention it on here, but one of the largest home builders in the country is one of the investors in Opendoor.
It's actually, I did not know that. So now this is a good conversation to have, because I'm sure I'm probably not the only one watching this or listening that would know that. But I was thinking to myself, man, again, the consumer walking off the street, if they go without a realtor or go right into this new construction, which, by the way, they work for the builder, they don't work for the buyer. You know, they want you to think they do, but they represent the builder.
It's even worse than that. Okay, here's what they do. You go into a new build, okay, a new building development, and if it's from a certain, and by the way, they're all invested. So let's say you go into a build and your house is contingent. Okay, so but you want to buy this new house because let's say Susan, you and I are married and we want to fill our house up with kids. Okay, we just got married and we have a small little 2-bedroom house. So we go, oh, there's a new development over there, like here in Temecula, and okay, let's go buy one of those big 6-bedroom houses and just fill it up with children. Well, we go over there and we say, hey, Mr. Builder, I want to buy one of these houses and fill it up with kids. And they're like, fantastic, let me write you a new build contract. Oh, you're contingent, you got to sell your house first. No problem. We'll still write you a new build contract here and sell you that house over there, okay, over the next 3 or 4 months as it gets finished. However, in the contract, you have to sign that if you cannot sell your house for more and within a certain period of time with a realtor or through some other means, in the contract says you will sell your house to Opendoor for a predetermined amount of money because they're invested in Opendoor. That's how the contract
yeah, this is a great conversation. I'm glad we opened it up because again, you don't hear a lot about this, and and after seeing, and it's not just Opendoor. There's many different things, but Opendoor is the one that happened to be the one that in the new build. But I got to tell you, I think the consumers and the sellers, they really need to understand, their numbers. They really need to understand their numbers because it's their investment and their real estate, that's their nest egg. And so it's just bothersome to me. I want to be able to get this message out. And I think that the crush sheets you talked about, we kind of glossed over those a little bit, but with Career Compass, you guys do have some excellent, they're called crush sheets. Go ahead and talk about those for a minute.
Well, the crush sheets are basically for every iBuyer there is. We have or discounter for that, discounter or iBuyer. We have what's called a crush sheet. Now, a crush sheet is basically a quick synopsis that you can pull out no matter what the seller says. So if the seller says, well, I'm really thinking about Opendoor. Well, hold on. Before you go to Opendoor, no, I'm not telling you not to go to Opendoor. Before you go to Opendoor, let me show you this. And you pull out the crush sheet for Opendoor. And then you basically are able to show the seller exactly how Opendoor works and all their fees and everything else like that. Because here's the thing. Opendoor, they say the thing that they're preying on, the thing they're preying on is this. The fact that the average seller is going to go, oh, well, sure, I'm not getting as much for my house, but gee whiz, I actually am not going to be paying commissions, so it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right because I'm not going to be paying commissions, so it all comes out the same in the end, and this is more convenient, and that's basically what they're preying on. So basically, what happens is this system is designed to profit not the seller by any means, shape, or form. But it's actually designed to profit the iBuyer because not only do they buy your house for less, okay, that's just the first thing, okay? But then they add their fees and they say that it's commission free, right? Well, guess what? It's not commission free in the same aspect that yours is. You charge a commission of 5, 6, or 7%, and please tell me you know how to do that. 7% technique is one of the greatest things you'll ever learn in your life. It's unbelievable, okay? But here's the thing. The Opendoors out there, the Zillows out there, they charge anywhere between 6 and 12% service charge. So they're still charging a commission. It's just named something else. And they're relying on the fact that the consumer will not think that that's a commission and think it's still cheaper, which is not. It's actually more expensive. I actually have a graphic that I could show you an actual tool that we give to all Career Compass members that actually shows. It's a 2-minute little video that we have in PDF format, JPEG format, PowerPoint format. Even as a video, you can just download your computer that shows exactly what happens very simply in a very quick transaction. And within 2 minutes, using that tool, you can decimate any desire that the seller has to use an iBuyer. It's great stuff. And by the way, I just checked and I can. Ready for this? Guess who's one of the biggest investors in Opendoor? Ever heard of Lennar?
Yes.
That's who it is.
Well, you bring it up because that is the builder that I went into that had that on there. So that's interesting. I think there was another one too, but that one for sure. That's Lennar, why they have it there.
The biggest investors in Opendoor. Gee, I wonder why they tell you to go to Opendoor. Can't imagine.
Wow. Why. Well, I mean, not to beat this down too much, but again, I'm going to circle back to, when they say they buy it, buy things under market value. Like I have this net sheet that I did for this one seller I told you about. They offered her $445,000 for a beautiful condo, a 3-bedroom condo that could easily have been sold for $499 or even probably above that. But if $499 would have gotten it sold, I'm sure within the first week, especially since there's no competition.
Right.
She would have netted an additional, like I said, $30,000 to her bottom line, and so that's really important to know. So tell me, what about the Zillow? What about the Zillow offers?
Well, let me show you something that I think everybody should see. Okay. This is basically, and am I able to share my screen?
I was just going to say, can I give you, let's see.
It says I can, so let me go ahead and see if I can. I'll go ahead and share.
I just fixed it for you.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, you should be able to. Did it work?
And okay, here we go. Okay, I think so. Let me go ahead and see if I can.
Oh yeah, there you go.
let me go ahead and show everybody this. Now, here is the difference between iBuyers and discounters. First question I ask is, well, can you show the seller the difference between an iBuyer and a discounter? Well, most realtors think it's the same thing, and it's not. Let me show you this. That is an iBuyer. Opendoor and OfferPad, two of the biggest ones in the country, okay? Then you have Redfin, and I don't mean regular Redfin, Redfin Now. Redfin Now is a completely different division of Redfin. You have regular Redfin, which lists for 1% or 3%, depending on what product you choose. We also have Redfin Now, which is an iBuyer that buys and sells directly. Then you have Zillow. Let me show you this. This is a video, and I hope everybody can hear it. This is a video that's been running in the state of California in every county, okay, on social media, on TV, on radio, and everything else like that. Ready? Check this out.
When Zillow buys your home, life gets a little less stressful because you can sell without repairs and choose your closing date, giving you more time for the things you love. Visit Zillow to request your free offer.
That is a 15-second spot by Zillow that basically tells people, and here's the two things that you thought when you saw that commercial. You thought, oh, I can sell my house for top dollar without repairs. They never said that, but it insinuated that. It said you can sell your house without repairs. Now, to these millennials, the end of Western civilization as we know it, these people, the thing about it is they think, oh, I can get top dollar. That's not true at all. You can sell your house. You can sell your house without repairs all you want. You're going to take a hit on it, but they don't tell you that. The other thing that this commercial insinuates without mentioning it, because they never said it, is this is commission free, because you saw the guy click his phone. That to the average person says, oh, I can sell my house without repairs and I get to do it through commission free. That's not the case at all. Now, while I still have my screen shared, let me show you this. Okay, not sure if many people knew this, but a lot of people went to this seminar three times in 2019. We invited Opendoor, the biggest iBuyer in the country, to come on stage with us in our seminars in 2019 and debate us. And they did it, and we demolished them three times. It was unbelievable. We had their state manager there three times on our stage, and we absolutely demolished them. Finally, they said, your people, your trainers know more about Opendoor than we do, so we're not going to come out anymore because it's not helping us. So here's, by the way, there's a picture of it right there.
Wow.
Yep,
that's powerful.
There they are on stage. The folks to the right there is Austin Najera and Angela Evans. Very nice people, I will say, and they were very professional. I want to thank them for that. And then over on the left, you have yours truly there. And then you have Brian Stevens from the National Real Estate Post. That was a 3-hour debate.
Oh my gosh.
In front of hundreds of agents, and we did it 3 times last year. We're the only seminar in the state history, the history of the California real estate, to ever have that happen. Now, here's what we developed from that. Here's one of the things that came out. Check this out. Let's say that this is a house that you've listed. Okay, Susan, you're going to be your listing agent. This is a house right here in Temecula that you've listed, and let's say it's $1 million to make the numbers easy. Okay, so there's you. Yay, Susan.
Yay.
Okay, so that's you. You've listed a house for $1 million. Now, this is the thing that you show your sellers in the beginning of the real estate transaction, if they have any desire to go with an iBuyer. It doesn't matter which one. Now, in a normal transaction, there's your buyer's agent. Your buyer's agent offers $1 million. There's a 5% commission, a full price offer of $1 million, okay? $50,000 in commission, which means $950 is due to the seller before expenses, right? Everybody with me so far? Good. Now, here's what happens when you sell your house to Opendoor as opposed to using realtors. When Opendoor buys your house, because, oh, it must be more convenient, it's not. Let's say the house is $1 million. The commission is 5%. You get a full price offer from Opendoor, which, by the way, you won't get. So let's just say for comparison reasons. Now, here's the thing. Here's the things that came out in our debate with these people. These people say they charge no commission, but they charge a service fee of 7.5%, and there that is. So what most realtors think is the commission goes away. See how the 5% gets crossed out now? Because $75,000 is the commission, as they say, right? So now, how much does the seller get? $925? Wrong. That's what most people think. But this is not true. Ready for this? See that $75,000, Susan? That only covers the buy side commission. It does not cover your listing commission. That is what people don't realize. So what you have to do, Susan, you have to go back to the seller for your 2.5%, 25 grand. So the seller doesn't get $925 before expenses, he gets $900, and that's on a full price offer. So that's the first thing. Let's say that they don't get a full price offer from Opendoor, they get $920, which is way more likely, isn't it?
Yes.
Now you take out your 7.5%, then you think your seller's getting that. Wrong. Oh, Susan has to be paid. There's Susan's commission. So what does the seller get? $828. Does that compare to a regular listing? Only if you think $122,000 reduction is comparable. Check that out. That's a perfect example of what happens.
That is powerful. And that's exactly what I mean by understanding the numbers and making sure that we are educating, the public and educating agents to be able to present this, because once again, it doesn't matter what your house sells for if you don't understand what the bottom line is with all the, hidden fees or your not explanation of the contracts you're signing, because above and beyond that, if the listing agent's out of the picture and they just go sell with Opendoor, they don't even have any representation at all.
Right.
And, and then there's a lot of others that opens up a whole nother line of problems for the seller. So I think this is really powerful. And, I don't think everybody can, well, that's actually pretty basic math there. But, it's nice to be able to really internalize and understand these numbers so that you can reiterate them when you are actually sitting with a client and, a potential seller, so that they can really look at their bottom line. And Zillow, God goodness, they can come between 3 and 30% under market value on Zillow offers. Is that right? Roughly?
Anywhere between 3 and 30% below market is what they're
below, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And are their service fees can run, between 6 and 12% too, right?
The service fee runs 6 to 12%, sometimes up to 15%. So think about this. Again, $1 million house, they could offer as low as 700. Then they'll take another average 10% out of that. So literally before expenses on $1 million house, you could end up with 650. Try that one on.
So why are people even jumping on this? You think they find a new home, like a new build, and they get so excited that they just don't want to lose that new build, so they just give their house away? I mean, goodness, it just doesn't make sense.
It depends on a lot of things. There's the convenience. They're selling convenience. Okay, it's a bad example, but when 7-Eleven first came out as an alternative to going to the grocery store, they charge a lot more, but it's there for the convenience. But what's the problem is Zillow, Opendoor, and the rest of them are actually educating falsely educating the consumer that you're going to get just as much by going through them as you will through a regular sale, because they're saying we don't charge commission. No, you charge service fees, which are just as much as commission, and you lowball it. This is what they don't know. Now, ready for this? This is going to make your head explode. Now, let me ask you a quick question, and just your opinion, Susan. There's no wrong answer.
Sure.
How well do you think Carr and NAR have done in the last 3 years educating realtors on how to handle iBuyers?
I think it's been almost non-existent. I don't feel like it's been good. I mean, I'm not getting my information, put it that way. I haven't got any of my information.
Give them an F. So as the old saying goes, so here's what's going on. This is going to make you crazy. Okay, they've done literally nothing in the state of California. The only entity teaching realtors how to beat iBuyers, not work with them, but how to beat them, has been the Career Compass. Now, we'll give Tom Ferry and Mike Ferry and Brian Buffini a pass. They're coaching companies, but we're the only company that's been doing this. Now, this part made me crazy, and I can say this because it's truth, and it's basically the truth. On December 14th of last year, 2019, about 6 months ago, we were doing the seminar in Anaheim. All of a sudden, about 3 p.m., a bunch of the young people, and when I say young people who've had their license less than 5 years, people whose licenses start with 02, okay, not 00 like mine and yours, but it's like 02, who hadn't been in business less than 5 years, all got an email from Carr, and they're the only ones who got it. All got an email. The email was about, hey, guess what, folks? After many years of, obviously just the Career Compass teaching this, Carr has a new class that you can actually, go to or download on how to work with the iBuyers, not how to beat them, but how to literally bring your business on a silver platter to the iBuyers. And in that very email, it actually said, as a young realtor, as a new realtor, it may be advisable for you to work for an iBuyer.
So of course, I never got anything like that. You're saying that only went to the brand new. So that's interesting. That's really interesting. It blows my mind because, again, I feel like being in real estate, being an investment for people's futures, it seems just so irresponsible. It feels like it's being taken. People are getting taken advantage of, and I don't care how they cut it if they don't disclose really clearly what their intent is in terms of, price below market, and advise them of all their fees. People don't know what they don't know. So they don't know to ask the questions. They don't know they're getting, ripped off on their house. And then they're also not even getting representation. So again, that blows my mind in and of itself. And I just want to be able to, if there's anybody watching this that are, really even considering of selling their house, that they, please, call me, call a professional realtor, and just look at your options. I always talk about exploring your options and knowing, again, knowing your numbers. And it's funny because my behavioral style, which I want to get into a little bit about your behavioral style, my behavior, I teach DISC, anyway, and, so I'm 99D, 99I on behavioral style. That doesn't really give me a lot of detail oriented, although I will tell you, as a CEO of my company and being the CEO in the past of other companies, I know numbers, I know them well. And I think regardless of whatever your behavioral style is, you have responsibility to understand those numbers so that you can be always acting in best interest of your clients so that they can make some, sound decisions. Would you agree with that?
100%. Guys, the problem is this: over the last 20 years, we had this little, 20 or 30 years, we had this little tool called the internet, and it went from a situation where we were the gatekeeper between all the buyers and sellers of real estate were over here, and all the information about real estate was over here, and we were stuck right in the middle as the gatekeepers of information. Well, that changed with the internet. Remember the old bounded MLS books? Remember those things? Okay. Well, that was really sacred information that only the realtors got to see, right? Well, now everybody gets to see everything. Well, what that did is that made the buyer and seller think, I can now do all of this by myself. And you had plenty of people think that. Zillow, Opendoor, and these companies are taking advantage of that mentality where realtors are something of the past. They're taking advantage of it because, hey, you sellers and buyers, you know everything. You don't need a realtor. You know how to do this. You've got the internet. You're ultimately powerful. Here's your offer on your house. You understand that you're not paying commissions, which they are anyway. Okay, so go ahead and take this. This is the whole mentality. Because people think they know everything, and guess what? People need realtors more now than they did back then, but they don't know it, and that's the problem because they're being taken advantage of. And I can say that. When you have $1 million house and you're given a $900,000 offer minus commission, service fees, which are in excess of commission anyway, you are being taken advantage of.
And not having representation, by the way. I'm huge on this. It's just one of the reasons my passion is, to consult with agents and teach them how to run their businesses as businesses and know how to do their presentations, their listing presentations, their buyer consultations. Because they can get on the internet and find a house, but that has nothing to do with, what are the tax rates on that house? What are the issues? What's their total payments going to look like? Getting them pre-approved, making sure they know how to negotiate on the contracts, knowing their contingencies and all the disclosures that need to be provided. There's a whole lot more. We would be completely out of business if there really wasn't so much more legality things too, setting people up for, being into getting legal consequences when they just, and ignorance is not an excuse. You've got to be able to prepare yourself, and so that's, hopefully the people that are watching this are really, we're just hitting that out of the park and really hammering home to understand numbers and, don't just to jump on these kind of, iBuyers, because it's dangerous. It's a slippery slope. And, you think you're investing in your future when you invest in, whether it's an investment property or your current home. And then you have somebody come in, for convenience, and you lose thousands of dollars. We're not talking about listing your home 10 grand under, it's significant.
It's not just $1,000. It's tens of thousands. And in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're losing.
Yeah, I've seen it in action live. And it, like I said, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here today is, we hear about these things. We don't just openly discuss them. I don't think the public hears about them even enough. Us realtors are not even hearing about it, the details like we're talking about right now, enough to make their decisions, and they just jump on something. And then you walk into a new building, you see that, you think it's just like any other realtor, and they don't really know. So it's, like I said, a very scary thing. And I think that I feel like it's a very irresponsible to our, to just let somebody assume that's just an easy way out and they're going to get market value for their home.
Well, that's the other thing. We have a technique we teach at the seminar, because here's what this does. The iBuyers have a systematic way. You want to talk about systematic things in our society, a systematic way of lowering the value in an area. Because let's say that I sell my house to Opendoor for 50 grand less than its value. What did I just create? Because I didn't pay quote unquote commissions, even though they built it in somewhere else. Here's what happens. That sale goes in as a comp for that area at 50 grand less than it should have been. What does that do to my neighbors? What does that do to the comps in the area? So now let's say that everybody does that. What happens is the houses in that area that systematically start going down. If there's one message I could tell the people of the world here, right? Okay, iBuyers and discounters erode equity and lower the value of homes in an area. Realtors, if they are smart and they know what they're doing, okay, and that's why Career Compass exists, because what we do is teach realtors how to list houses for more, sell for more, and sell faster. I mean, that's what the whole 7% technique is based on.
Right.
Okay? Realtors increase the value of a house, increase the value of the area. So that is one of the biggest differences is iBuyers and discounters erode value, realtors increase value. And that is the reason that we are so important in the industry.
That's a great statement. So hopefully everybody's taking some copious notes here. You also bring up something else, which I think is really important. So in terms of the listing agent on a property, so I teach a class called the, listing presentations and beyond. And the reason I name it and beyond is because of this kind of stuff. You can't Google this. You can't YouTube this dialogue that we're having and the realities of certain things. So for example, of course, I, like a lot of realtors, have the old what's your home, seemyhomeprice.com. That's one of my domains, seemyhomeprice.com. So if you were to go in your neighborhood and you go log on to seemyhomeprice.com, of course, you're going to get your automated home price, right?
Right.
So, as a realtor, I don't leave it at that, though. I know that you went on, got your home price, but I'm going to call up and I'm going to follow up with you, because here's the thing. I'm going to study and see what that home price came out at, because there may be, some of them are pretty accurate. Some of them are way off. Well, what might throw it off? Well, if there's an Opendoor, an iBuyer that came in and bought a property in their neighborhood, right? That way, when I make a call to the seller that got their automated report, I'll say, by the way, just letting you know, I'd love to be able to see their home, make sure we account for all their upgrades, because you have one of the homes in your neighborhood was sold by an iBuyer, and that is actually affecting the value. I've actually done this, so this is why I'm bringing it up. I'm glad you tipped on it. They're like, oh my gosh, really? Yeah, and so I've been able to actually show the difference. And so it's really important as realtors that, again, I'm gonna say professional realtors, we actually study and know the market. I also feel it's the responsibility of a listing agent to support the value of a property. So let's just say, your seller didn't know about that house, but you went and did your market analysis, you priced their house, you sold it at top market value, which we do, and the appraisal comes in. And the appraiser is now trying to bring the value down, because we will be able to be educated enough to show them what happened and why that comparable is there. And I'm not too sure many realtors are doing that, really studying the sold market around and looking at, if there's a red flag, which one property, a model match or even close, sold significantly lower, find out why, what happened, why is that property? And there again, we then can have, be educated enough to support that value through appraisal, and also, of course, to bring buyers and sell the house for actual market value, because it really does hurt a neighborhood, and it hurts all the other sellers around it too. So this is really important information. I hope everybody's taking some great notes and getting some good stuff out of here. Tell us more what we can go through here, because you guys have, the Career Compass has just so many tools. And what else can we talk about in iBuyers that you think that everybody should know more about?
Well, there's the iBuyer thing. It just doesn't end. It goes on for forever as far as what they're starting to do. If you'd like, let me show you what they're really up to. Okay, so since we have a few minutes, I know this sounds like big conspiracy theory. So before I go, oh, this is a conspiracy theory, let me go ahead and show you exactly from the horse's mouth what's happening with the iBuyers and where they're headed. They're not just looking for your house. They're looking for everything. Now I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can do this here. Let's go ahead and share the screen again. And I want to show you about a 1-minute video. Okay. I can tell you what's happening, but I think it's a little bit more impactful if I show you this video by this particular gentleman.
Excellent.
Okay. This is Richard Barton, the CEO of Zillow.
Okay.
And
And I basically likened the transition, the kind of market expansion that Zillow is going through right now, where we've got this huge, profitable incumbent business with this trusted brand. And we're saying, all right, there is a technology disruption happening, and we've got to be the ones to build the bridge across the chasm and get to the other side. And that's why we are going so hard and so aggressively, but in a prudent way, at the new opportunity, and it's going extremely well.
Do you think even further a step forward about other avenues you could go into with mortgages, other aspects?
Yeah, it turns out that the house transaction is the hub of a series of really big, important, and potentially profitable transactions. Getting the mortgage, the title, the escrow, moving, telecommunication services, all this happens and changes and is keyed off of the house transaction. And we are making investments in most of these businesses, specifically mortgages, title, and escrow right now, and creating an integrated digital platform so that one day, the dream is that we dream one day of you having kind of almost a trade-in experience with your house, where you're standing in a house, a Zillow offers house that we own. You've been there 15 times. You've let yourself in with the Zillow app. We know who you are and where you live. We've already have a mortgage ready to go. We have an offer ready for your house when you're ready to transact, and you, with one click, can decide to move.
Did you hear that?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, okay, here he said some key things. This big incumbent trusted brand. So in other words, incumbent, like as in we're the president. We are real estate. That guy right there is famous for saying Zillow is the real estate market. We are the industry. Okay, so big and trusted brand. He said, we're very profitable, i.e. that's a message to the investors, okay? But we're doing it in a prudent way, their investors. It's all digital, which means, hey guys, all you gotta do is click. Don't have to worry about any realtor. And he also said, we know who you are. We know where you live. You're standing in a Zillow owned house with one click, okay? You let yourself in. You've been there 15 times, okay? And basically what that says is there's no realtor. You let yourself in. Okay, that's what it said to the people. Okay, he said, and you can almost trade in your house with one click. Remember what he said? The key things right now is click, 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 trusted digital, blah, blah, blah. With one click, you can trade your house in. Because why? Here's why. Key point. The house, turns out, as he says, is the hub of a series of very profitable transactions. And he didn't just stop at the house itself, the sale and the buy of it. No. He went on to escrow. He went on to title. He went on to the mortgage. He also talked about telecommunications, moving, and everything else like that. So basically what Zillow's going after is not just the sale and the purchase of your home. No. They're going after the title, the escrow, the lending, as well as your telecommunications. Okay, so your TV and everything else like that. They're also going after when you move, where you move, and everything else like that. They're going after the entire gambit of the transactions that are encompassed within a real estate transaction. So in other words, they're not just talking about buying and selling houses. No. They're going after everything, and that video proves it right there. That video was filmed just before the Corona epidemic.
That's insane. And there again, they don't tell you what's behind the scenes. Okay, yeah, at lower value, at hidden fees, with no representation, et cetera. I mean, there's just a whole string of problems that potential consumer is not aware of and doesn't know what questions to ask. A lot of it is knowing what questions to ask and knowing how to really understand. Again, goes back to understanding your numbers. This is your investment. You got to take it seriously. That was a powerful video, by the way. So thank you. We know we don't know exactly when the next Career Compass seminars are coming up, but I want to circle back to that podcast because that daily podcast, which I just found out about yesterday. So please announce again when that podcast is, what are some of the other things you're covering on there, and so we're all aware of it.
Okay, what we do now, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with the Career Compass, and let me show you a quick little video, or not video, but while I'm talking about this, let me just pull this up here. That way everybody can kind of see what we're talking about. To steal your screen again, but Let me kind of go through this. So basically what happens is, for those of you who don't know, Career Compass does a seminar once a month in normal times, not right now, obviously, in normal times, once a month at all these locations. So Pechanga Resort and Casino right here. Okay, Los Angeles, Pasadena, Orange County, San Diego, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Fisherman's Wharf, Napa Valley, Sacramento, Santa Clara. All these locations are done every single year, and we do a different one of these each month. So we do more seminars and larger seminars than almost anybody in the state of California, and we have more agents that come to the Career Compass than any other seminar in the state of California. So we're actually number one. So we want to thank everybody for that. So for those of you who don't know, when you come to the Career Compass, you get the first thing you get is all this great marketing training. Okay, so iBuyer, 7%, the EAT, the PAT. Basically, we have over 100 different techniques that realtors can use to profit their business, be better realtors, and just expand their business. And we come up with new stuff all the time. So it's the greatest training ever. Now, you also get your license renewed through us as a member of Career Compass. For free, forever. We will renew your license through our third-party affiliate company. We have to say that because the DRE has lost their mind in real life these days. So it is our affiliate partner company that comes in and renews your license either before the seminar, after, during, anytime you want. We've actually expanded that. We also have training on mortgages from AmeriFirst. And if you are paying taxes, which I know all of you are, we have the number one tax preparer company in the state of California works for us. They're on our staff. It's called the Kanoki Group. They come in and literally show you as a realtor how to pay no taxes. It's amazing. So you get all these benefits. And once you become a Career Compass member, like Susan, like you have been for 10 years, you never pay for your membership again. You pay one time and you're a member for life. So you get all of these benefits for free for life. So a lifetime of training and license renewal through our third-party company, and training on mortgages and taxes and all kinds of great stuff for free forever. So it's a really great thing. So it is the best seminar in the state of California by far. And boy, ask any of our customers, they will say that. You get your license renewed for free for life, free lifetime renewals through our third-party company. Okay, that comes in, and they're a great company. And the average cost of an average seminar is about $500, and you only get to go once. Ours is $195 one time, and you get to come back for free for life anytime you want to come back, and you don't have to be renewing. You can come to the seminar anytime you want. Like, for example, let's say that you came to the seminar and your renewal is three years away. You can come to our seminar, and then the renewal you get through our third-party company has now renewed your license for 3 years from now. So you're now done for 7 years. It's great stuff. So you do not have to wait. And you can also bring your spouse or your relative for $99 if that's your idea of a good time. One thing I want to show everybody here is this right here, okay, thecareercompass.com. But Susan, this is what you just got shipped to you yesterday. Okay? Right. It's called the Career Compass Greatest Hits. And this is one of the most valuable tools that you can have. Now, the Career Compass has two things. We have our membership for unlimited seminars, and we also have our greatest hits. Now, what are these two things? Your membership is what you've had for over 10 years, Susan, that you never pay for again. You get to use over and over again and never pay for it again. The greatest hits are what you bought yesterday. And guys, and everybody who's listening, if it's good enough for Susan, it's good enough for anybody. This right here is a compilation of every single tool and technique the Career Compass has ever taught, all the way from the back in 2008, the stuff that we were teaching, all the way up to today and in the future. And you get all this for free for life. So the way this works is you buy the greatest hits. Not only do you get all this great training, but every time we come up with something new, we send that to you automatically for free forever. So it's great stuff. And it comes in, and Susan, you'll see that when you get your package, you'll get it in disc format for old people like me. You also get it in a flash drive that's included, and you also have the automatic downloads. So you have all 3 digital formats that come to you for free for life. Now, the thing about this is, because we can't do the seminar for about the next 2 or 3 months, this is how you can get the Career Compass training every single day in your car, on your computer, on your iPod, on your phone, everything else, every single day that you want it. So that's what that is. And by the way, Susan, here's what I want you to do today when you get a chance. This is a new benefit of anybody who owns the greatest hits, which is you now. You can go onto our website, thecareercompass.com, and you get to create a profile for yourself on our website that gets thousands of hits every month. We get thousands and tens of thousands of people come to our website. So see this little graphic right here? This is Maggie Orrick. So after today, after you go on and create your own profile, it'll say, Susan Johnson Cronin right there. And you can create a profile for yourself, add a video, and people can like you, people can follow you, people can share you, people can refer you. We're already hearing people who've gotten referrals from their profile on our website. And it also advances you in a Google search. How cool is that? And you get that. Yeah, that's cool. And you get that for free just because you own the greatest hits. So there you go. So sometime today, Susan, I want you to go on and create your profile in our website, okay? So it's literally, you're going to have a page. Okay, a Susan Johnson Cronin profile on the Career Compass website, an actual page. How cool is that?
I actually started it yesterday. I saw it and I started it yesterday.
Oh, you did?
You know,
Fantastic.
so so all this is amazing. And like I said, even at the seminars, when they start back up again, yes, you renew the license, but I gotta say, it is so far beyond that. I hopefully everybody's picked that up by now. I mean, all the tips and tools and marketing, and I mean, you've got some insane ideas. They're just awesome. And so, and you change them up a lot. You bring a lot of new stuff to the table, which is really fun too. And it is a lot of fun. You're entertaining and funny and sometimes offensive, which, can be funny too. But anyway, it's that let your hair down, meet a lot of people. My goodness, I've been to some of these where I've met people across the country. They fly in all over, because again, even though it's for the California license renewal, the techniques and the tips and the marketing you train is anywhere in the nation. And you're not the same. You can, as the coaching companies, again, Buffini, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, those are coaching companies which actually will really work very well in unison with everything you're teaching. That's right. So love it, love it, love it. I have to own up. You've heard of Tom Ferry's the rip off and duplicate, right? Rip off and duplicate. Okay. So, your big world that you throw around the room, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for my listing presentation and beyond, this goes back several years now. Anybody who's taken my class can tell you, especially when I taught it at the Board of Realtors. I've come up with a similar thing like that where I take about 15 beach balls, and then I start putting them out as, first, you're the listing agent and the seller and then the buyer and the buyer's agent. And we have to keep all these balls up in the air because it's all the hats we wear in the closing of a transaction. And it's an amazing visual. Everybody had super fun with it, but all sorts of fun little things like that to just, when you have fun, when you're learning, you not only will retain a lot more. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
But also when you go to these classes, think about agents out there. Think about all the seminars maybe you've been to over the years. Maybe you just sit there and you don't even hardly talk to the people around you. There are seminars like that, believe it or not, that really don't get you too interactive. I mean, goodness, by the end of your weekend, it's like so many people. It's a fabulous networking. It's a business growth. It's a personal growth, and of course you're renewing your license. So you do great work, and we really appreciate it. Anybody who tells me they're renewing their license and they tell me they're going online, I'm like, no, you can't do that. Don't do that.
The car course takes the average person 3 weeks, and it's excruciating. Guys, come to the Career Compass. Okay, get your Career Compass membership for less than $200 for life, and you get renewed for life, for free, forever through our independent process. You get all the great training for free for life. It's great stuff. You're in and out. It's 2 days of absolute fun. You'll meet hundreds of people. You'll do great networking. You'll be a better realtor. And I mean, my gosh, for less than $200, you get to do this for free for life. Who wouldn't do it? It's great stuff.
And I got to mention too, you don't have to be having to renew your license to go. Once you're involved, you can go anytime you want to, just to get all the marketing and the tips and everything else. So again, huge value, Wellington. Beef Wellington, great having you here today. Can't wait to watch your podcasts even more. Now that I know about them, so I'll be on there.
Every day at 3 o'clock. Every day at 3 o'clock on Facebook Live. So if you go to Facebook, which most of you are on right now, if you go to the Career Compass, Career Compass, okay, 3 o'clock every day, we do a 30-minute little training on some great tool or technique, and it's just great stuff. So it's free to everybody. Please join us. We do it every day at 3 o'clock.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show today. And next week, we've got another great week next Thursday, every Thursday for the love of real estate at 10 a.m. We'll be talking about, anything that is helpful in the growth personally and professionally for a realtor and brokers businesses, and a lot of things for buyers and sellers as well. So I'm mixing up the content so that week after week, we just deliver great value, and you did today. So thanks again. And again, I'm Susan Johnson and Associates, eXp Realty. And thanks again, Beef Wellington Pendell, Career Compass. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.